The last rays of sunlight cast long shadows across the desolate landscape of Earth. Massive transport ships loomed against the darkening sky, their hulls gleaming with a desperate hope that contrasted sharply with the dying world below. Captain J. Park stood at the primary loading bay, his eyes scanning the ragged group of survivors gathering their final belongings. Humanity's last moment had arrived. Decades of environmental collapse, global conflicts, and resource depletion had reduced the once thriving population to mere thousands. The planet was no longer habitable. Toxic winds swept across barren continents and oceans had become toxic wastelands of plastic and chemical remnants. Yuna Kim, the lead genetic preservation specialist, worked tirelessly at her station. Her fingers moved across holographic interfaces, with precision, ensuring every genetic sequence would be perfectly preserved. Massive data banks hummed behind her, containing the collective genetic information of thousands of carefully selected humans. "We have approximately 47 minutes before planetary shutdown," a calm artificial voice announced through the ship's communication system. People moved with a strange mix of urgency and resigned acceptance. Children held tightly to their parents, families clustered together, their eyes reflecting both fear and a strange sense of hope. The selection process had been brutal. Only those with critical skills, perfect genetic profiles, and psychological stability were chosen. Scientists, engineers, medical professionals, and a carefully curated group of genetic diversity representatives made up the passenger list. Each person represented humanity's final chance at survival. Wu Choi, the navigation specialist, checked and rechecked the ship's complex systems. The massive vessel, named Cosmic Horizon, represented humanity's most advanced technological achievement. Equipped with quantum computing, advanced cryogenic chambers, and self-repairing systems, it was designed to travel through space for hundreds of thousands of years. Outside, the remaining cities crumbled. Automated defense systems occasionally fired at approaching environmental disaster zones, a futile last stand of human infrastructure. The ground shook periodically, evidence of the planet's final death throes. J. Park watched as the last group of survivors boarded. An elderly woman carried a small box, perhaps containing family photographs or precious memories. A young scientist clutched a portable drive containing years of research. Each person carried not just their personal belongings, but the collective hopes of an entire species. The cryogenic chambers stood like silent guardians, their smooth surfaces reflecting the emergency lighting. Each chamber was a marvel of technology, capable of preserving human life through centuries of space travel. Sophisticated medical nanites were programmed to repair cellular damage, maintain genetic integrity, and ensure minimal degradation during the long journey. Final boarding sequence initiated, the ship's computer announced. Families said their last goodbyes knowing they would wake up together, if they woke up at all. The uncertainty was both terrifying and strangely comforting. Hana Lee, responsible for genetic reconstruction protocols, made her final checks. Her team had spent decades developing techniques to preserve and potentially regenerate human life. Complex algorithms tracked genetic variations, ensuring the survival of humanity's genetic diversity. The ship's massive engines began to hum. Electromagnetic shields activated, creating a protective bubble around the vessel. Outside, the last remnants of Earth's atmosphere swirled in chaotic patterns. Dust storms mixed with radioactive particles created a hellish landscape that no living creature could survive. As the Cosmic Horizon prepared for launch, Captain Park reflected on the magnitude of their mission. They were not just passengers, but the entire genetic library of human potential. Every skill, every memory, every possibility of human achievement was contained within this vessel. The launch was silent. No dramatic explosions, no theatrical farewell. Just a massive ship, slowly lifting from a dying planet, carrying the last hope of a species that had both destroyed and tried to save its own world. Sophisticated tracking systems ensured a precise trajectory towards a distant star system identified as potentially habitable. Inside the cryogenic chambers, humans entered a state between life and death. complex computer systems would monitor their biological functions, make minute adjustments, and preserve their potential for centuries of travel. Dreams, memories, and genetic potential would be suspended in a quantum state of possibility. Earth grew smaller, then disappeared. The cosmic horizon became a tiny point of light against the vast, dark canvas of space, carrying within it the entire genetic memory of humanity, waiting to be reborn. The soft hum of machines broke the centuries-long silence. Quantum sensors detected a suitable star system, triggering the awakening protocols of the cosmic horizon. Microscopic nanites began their intricate work, repairing cellular structures and preparing the first batch of human survivors for revival. Captain J. Park's cryogenic chamber began to pulse with a gentle blue light. Molecular repair systems worked rapidly, healing centuries of potential cellular damage. His fingers twitched. A low electronic beep signaled the start of the revival process. The chamber's transparent cover slowly retracted. Cold mist swirled around Park as his eyes flickered open. The first moments were always the most critical. Nanite networks ran comprehensive diagnostics, checking every system of his body. Muscles that had been dormant for hundreds of thousands of years began to respond, synapses reconnecting with surprising efficiency. Nearby, other chambers started their awakening sequences. Yuna Kim's chamber hummed to life, her scientific mind instantly alert. Wu Choi's body tensed as the revival process completed. One by one, the carefully selected humans began to return to consciousness. The ship's central computer displayed a holographic projection. 800,000 years had passed since their departure from Earth. The star system they now approached showed promise. Multiple planets with potential for human habitation. Atmospheric readings, geological scans, and radiation levels appeared within acceptable parameters. Park struggled to sit up, his muscles remembering their function through advanced genetic programming. The medical bay was a marvel of technology. Self-adjusting surfaces, diagnostic screens that flickered with real-time body information, and automated support systems that anticipated every potential need. System check complete, the ship's artificial intelligence announced in a calm, neutral voice. Revival success rate, 99.7%. Genetic integrity, perfect. Neurological functions, optimal. Yuna was the first to speak. Her voice was rough from centuries of silence. Preliminary data looks promising, she muttered, examining the holographic displays. Years of preparation had led to this moment, humanity's potential rebirth. The ship's observation deck slowly illuminated. Massive windows revealed a star system unlike anything the humans had ever seen. Multiple planets orbited a blue-white star, their surfaces showing complex geological formations. Automated probes had already begun detailed scanning, collecting information about potential landing sites. Wu Choi took control of the navigation systems. His fingers moved across quantum interfaces, plotting potential approach vectors. The ship's advanced propulsion systems allowed for precise maneuvering, a technology far beyond what existed when they first left Earth. Medical nanites continued their work. They replenished muscle mass, restored bone density, and optimized every biological system. Humans who had been essentially dead for 800,000 years were being restored to peak physical condition in a matter of hours. Park reviewed the ship's logs. The journey had been perfect. No major system failures, no unexpected cosmic events. Their preservation had been complete. Humanity's genetic potential remained intact, waiting to be unleashed in this new star system. Communication systems began mapping local space. Initial scans suggested the presence of other technological civilizations, though their level of development remained unknown. The humans would need to be cautious, strategic in their approach to this new galactic landscape. Hana Lee, the genetic reconstruction expert, began analyzing planetary data. Each planet represented a potential new home. Atmospheric composition, gravity, radiation levels, every detail would determine their chances of survival. The first day of awakening was a mixture of wonder and careful assessment. Humans moved slowly, their bodies remembering movement through advanced genetic memory. Medical robots assisted, providing support and running continuous health diagnostics as the first artificial light of their new star system entered the ship's observation deck. The survivors looked out with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. 800,000 years had passed. Earth was a distant memory. Everything they knew was gone, replaced by this moment of potential rebirth. "We're alive," Park whispered, more to himself than anyone else. The words carried the weight of centuries. The hope of an entire species compressed into a single moment of awakening. The cosmic horizon continued its silent journey, carrying the last remnants of human potential towards an unknown future. The alien vessel appeared suddenly on the cosmic horizon's quantum scanners. Unlike traditional spacecraft, this ship moved with a fluid, almost organic precision that defied conventional understanding of space travel. Captain J. Park watched carefully as the unknown craft approached, his hand hovering near the defensive system controls. Wu Choi's fingers danced across holographic interfaces, analyzing every micro detail of the approaching vessel. Its design was unlike anything in human historical records, smooth, almost living surfaces that seemed to shimmer and change color with each movement. No obvious weapon systems were visible, but centuries of survival had taught the human crew to be cautious. Incoming. Communication signal, the ship's artificial intelligence announced. The language was complex, a series of mathematical patterns and harmonic frequencies that initially seemed incomprehensible. Yuna Kim, the linguistic expert, worked rapidly to decode the transmission. "They're requesting a diplomatic exchange." She translated, her voice steady but filled with tension. The first contact would determine everything: humanity's survival, their potential integration or potential conflict in this new galactic landscape. The alien vessel matched the cosmic horizon's speed with remarkable precision. Its exterior suggested advanced technology far beyond human understanding. Organic-looking panels shifted and moved, creating complex geometric patterns that seemed to communicate something beyond simple visual information. Park instructed the crew to prepare, a carefully selected diplomatic team. They would represent humanity's best attributes: scientific knowledge, cultural diversity, and a demonstrated capacity for adaptation. Each team member had been chosen not just for their skills, but for their psychological stability in unprecedented situations. Holographic displays showed multiple perspectives of the alien ship. Its design suggested a civilization that had evolved beyond traditional mechanical understanding. Some panels appeared to breathe, others seemed to change molecular structure with each passing moment. The communication continued. Mathematical sequences mixed with complex harmonic tones. Yuna worked frantically to establish a comprehensive translation protocol. Each decoded segment revealed more about the alien civilization, a species that seemed to communicate through multiple simultaneous information channels. Hana Lee monitored genetic and biological scanners. The alien life form's basic structure was fundamentally different from human biology, carbon-based but with additional molecular complexity that suggested multiple evolutionary paths. Their physical form appeared to be a hybrid between biological and technological systems. "They're requesting a direct visual communication," Wu announced. The crew tensed. Visual contact meant potential cultural exchange or potential threat. Centuries of genetic preparation and psychological training would be tested in this single moment. The first visual transmission appeared. The alien representative was unlike anything humans had imagined. Not a singular being, but a complex collective consciousness that seemed to shift and change with each transmitted image. Multiple sensory inputs suggested a form of communication, far beyond human verbal or visual language. Park stepped forward representing humanity. His movements were calculated, showing both openness and careful preparedness. Years of diplomatic training and genetic optimization had prepared him for this exact moment. The alien transmission revealed a fascinating detail. They had been observing the cosmic horizon for several solar cycles. Their interest wasn't hostile, but deeply scientific. Humanity represented something unique in their galactic understanding, a species that had survived total planetary destruction and traveled vast cosmic distances. Mathematical exchanges continued. Complex data streams revealed the aliens' perspective. They saw humans as a rare genetic experiment, a species with remarkable adaptive potential. Their civilization had observed multiple species, but humanity's combination of technological potential and genetic flexibility was unique. Wu's scanning systems detected multiple layers of communication happening simultaneously. What appeared to be a simple visual transmission contained thousands of additional information streams: genetic data, mathematical predictions, potential future scenarios. The first encounter lasted approximately 47 standard minutes. No weapons were exchanged, no direct physical contact occurred, but something profound had happened. Humanity had proven its survival, its potential, its capacity to exist beyond a single planetary system. As the alien vessel slowly moved away, Park realized they had passed the first test. Humanity was no longer just a memory. They were a potential, a possibility waiting to be explored in this vast, complex galactic ecosystem. The cosmic horizon continued its journey, carrying the weight of human potential into an unknown future. The quantum laboratory hummed with incredible energy. Captain J. Park watched as Kim integrated alien technological fragments with human systems, creating something entirely new. Their preserved knowledge, combined with advanced alien technologies, was revolutionizing everything humans understood about science and engineering. Wu Choi's hands moved across holographic interfaces, translating complex mathematical sequences that seemed to defy traditional physics. The alien communication patterns they had received during first contact contained embedded technological blueprints, advanced systems that could reconstruct entire planetary ecosystems, generate unlimited energy, and manipulate quantum structures. The first breakthrough came unexpectedly. A small neural interface device no larger than a human thumbnail could now process computational tasks that would have previously required entire planetary mainframe systems. Hana Lee demonstrated how this single piece of technology could regenerate damaged cellular structures, predict medical conditions centuries in advance, and optimize human biological systems. Alien diplomatic missions watched with growing respect. The humans were not just absorbing technology, they were reimagining it. Where other civilizations saw fixed technological pathways, humans saw potential, adaptability, and infinite possibilities. Terraforming technologies developed rapidly. The team could now transform hostile planetary environments within months, not centuries. Atmospheric generators, molecular reconstruction systems, and advanced ecological networks could turn barren rocks into living worlds in remarkably short periods. The quantum communication network they developed could transmit information across galactic distances instantaneously. No more waiting years for messages to travel between star systems. Entire cultural exchanges could happen in microseconds, bridging vast cosmic distances with unprecedented speed. Energy generation systems moved beyond anything previously imagined. A single human-designed quantum reactor could power multiple star systems, extracting energy from quantum fluctuations that previous civilizations hadn't even recognized as potential power sources. Medical technologies transformed human understanding of biological limitations. Genetic reconstruction protocols could now repair DNA damage, reverse aging processes, and optimize human physical and mental capabilities. Diseases that had plagued humanity for millennia became nothing more than historical footnotes. The Alien Diplomatic Council watched these developments with a mixture of fascination and concern. Humans were not just adopting technology, they were fundamentally reimagining technological potential. Their approach was not about replication, but constant innovation. Spacecraft design changed dramatically. Previous limitations of material science, propulsion, and energy management disappeared. Ships could now reshape themselves based on environmental conditions, generate protective fields that could withstand extreme cosmic radiation, and navigate through quantum pathways previously considered impossible. Agricultural technologies allowed food production in environments that would have been considered completely uninhabitable. Molecular reconstruction systems could generate complex nutritional structures from basic atomic components, ensuring food security for entire planetary populations. Communication systems evolved beyond traditional understanding. Language was no longer a barrier. Advanced neural interfaces could translate and understand communication at genetic and quantum levels. Cultural exchanges happened not just through words, but through direct experiential transfer. Park recognized that this wasn't just a technological renaissance. It was a fundamental reimagining of human potential. The survivors from Earth were no longer just a rescued species. They were becoming architects of a new galactic civilization. The alien diplomatic missions began requesting human collaboration. Where other civilizations saw technological challenges as fixed problems, humans saw them as opportunities for creative redesign. This approach was revolutionary in a galactic context where most species followed established technological pathways. Quantum prediction models suggested that human technological development was occurring at an exponential rate. What would have taken other civilizations thousands of years was being accomplished by humans in months. Their combination of preserved knowledge, genetic optimization, and creative approach was unprecedented. Wu's latest project involved developing quantum navigation systems that could predict cosmic events centuries in advance. Hana was working on biological reconstruction technologies that could restore entire ecosystems from genetic memory. Yuna continued breaking down complex alien communication protocols, revealing layers of scientific understanding. As the cosmic horizon continued its journey, it was no longer just a survival vessel. It had become a mobile research center, a technological marvel that represented humanity's remarkable capacity for adaptation, innovation, and hope. The technological renaissance had begun, and humanity was just getting started. The galactic map glowed with intricate lines of reconnection. Captain J. Park watched as human developed quantum networks slowly bridged broken civilizations, healing centuries of isolation and conflict. What had begun as a simple survival mission had transformed into something far more profound, a galactic restoration project. Wu Choi's communication systems worked tirelessly. Each quantum transmission carried not just information but hope. Fractured alien civilizations began receiving coordinated restoration protocols, advanced technological solutions that could repair environmental damage, resolve long-standing conflicts, and rebuild critical infrastructure. Yuna Kim discovered that human preservation technologies could do more than just save a single species. Their genetic reconstruction algorithms could help rebuild ecosystems, restore endangered species, and create sustainable biological networks across multiple planetary systems. The first major restoration began in a star cluster that had been devastated by centuries of resource wars. Human teams arrived with advanced terraforming technologies, molecular reconstruction systems, and a unique approach to conflict resolution. Where previous civilizations saw boundaries, humans saw opportunities for collaborative development. Hana, Lee's biological reconstruction teams worked miracles. Planets that had been considered permanently uninhabitable were transformed within months. Atmospheric generators, advanced ecological networks, and quantum-level environmental management turned dead worlds into living ecosystems. Alien diplomatic missions watched in amazement. Humans didn't just offer technological solutions. They provided a fundamentally different approach to civilization building. Collaborative systems replaced competitive models. Resource sharing became more important than territorial control. The quantum communication network expanded rapidly. What had started as a human survival project became a galactic restoration platform. Information, technological solutions, and cultural exchanges happened at speeds previously considered impossible. Isolated civilizations discovered they were not alone in the universe. Park recognized the deeper significance of their mission. Humanity was no longer just surviving. They were becoming architects of a new galactic civilization. Their approach combined technological innovation with a deep understanding of collaborative potential. Advanced medical technologies spread across multiple star systems. Diseases that had decimated entire populations became treatable. Genetic Reconstruction protocols offered hope to civilizations that had been struggling with biological limitations for centuries. The alien council that had initially viewed humans with suspicion now sought their collaboration. Human teams were invited to help resolve complex ecological, technological, and social challenges. Their unique combination of preserved knowledge and innovative thinking provided solutions that defied traditional problem-solving approaches. Wu's quantum navigation systems could now predict and prevent potential cosmic conflicts. Early warning. Technologies helped civilizations avoid resource wars, environmental disasters, and technological catastrophes. What had been reactive became proactively preventative. UNA's linguistic teams developed universal communication protocols that went beyond traditional language barriers. Neural interfaces allowed for direct cultural and experiential exchanges, creating unprecedented levels of mutual understanding between different species and civilizations. The cosmic horizon was no longer just a ship. It had become a mobile research center, a diplomatic platform, and a symbol of hope for multiple galactic civilizations. Each quantum transmission carried the potential for restoration, healing, and collaborative development. HANA's latest project involved developing ecosystem restoration technologies that could revive entire planetary systems. Molecular-level reconstruction allowed for the revival of species long considered extinct. Genetic memory banks became libraries of biological potential. Strategic alliances formed across previously isolated star systems. Humans didn't conquer, they connected. Their technological solutions came with a fundamental understanding of collaborative potential, ecological balance, and species interdependence. The galactic map continued to change. Broken connections were restored. Isolated civilizations found new pathways of communication and collaboration. What had begun as humanity's last desperate attempt at survival had transformed into a civilization-level restoration project. Park looked at the evolving galactic network. Humanity had not just survived, they had discovered their true potential, not as conquerors but as healers, not as a single species, but as architects of a more connected, collaborative universe. The final transmission from the cosmic horizons communication system carried a simple message, translated into multiple galactic languages. We are here, we are ready to help.